Why so serious, army girl?
Fought a lot of bad guys, but none like you.
You've saved the best for last.
Alright guys, so the first string I want to talk about with Joker is his forward 1 for 2 string. He has access to a 50-50, so you know, this can get really annoying, right? But then he has access to a stagger to where he can stagger really well, even though he's -8 on block, which is fucking nuts. And he can stagger just like this and then throw you if it's timed correctly. If you're a little bit too late, he might be able to go into this again and then hit you. Another thing that he can actually do here is that if you try to neutral crouch because you're trying to uppercut him when he goes for that throw, he can hit you with the second hit of this move, and then get him a small combo. And in the corner, he can definitely combo you just like this. So a clear example is him, you know, obviously, you know, hitting you in the corner, and then you fuck up, and then he puts you into whatever combo that he desires, and then he fucks your shit up, right? Cool. So another thing that makes this string very intimidating and dangerous and brain dead as hell is that he can continuously abuse you with plus frames and put you in constant frame traps, right? Which ultimately allows this character to go for his 4-3, because if we look at the plus frames here, he is plus 24 on block. So if we look at our 4-3, he is what on startup 26 frames. So you kind of get the idea of what pretty much of what's happening here. If you try to neutral crouch, you'll get hit with the mid, so you'll probably stand up, but then again, you're going to stand up anyway because he has access to a crushing blow, and he can stagger his 4-3 if he wants to, and then he can probably do some shit like that, as you can clearly see here, and make himself super safe on block. So it's just really annoying, as you can clearly see here. So you're just stuck into a fucked up mind game. But what makes it even worse is that he can go directly into this fatal blow. But what's fucked up about it is that either one, he's going to commit, or he's going to throw you just like this, and you're stuck into a mind game of this. And the reason why is because he has a crushing blow in it, and obviously you don't want him getting that damage. And if he's in his zoning variation, that makes it worse. But then again, in this variation, he can take it upon himself to do shit like this. He could throw this shit at you, he could do this, he could throw a body at you, like you know what I mean? Like it's just like, damn, bro, he has so many good options off of one fucking string. Not only that, if you fuck up, right, he can take it upon himself to actually cancel this move, right? And when he cancels the move, he can go directly into a mid just like this. If you press a button, you're gonna end up getting hit, and this is highly effective in the corner. But if he has his birdie beatdown crushing blow, well, guess what? He gets combo damage. So you kind of get the idea with this particular situation, and now we're going to move on to the last string that I want to talk about with the Joker. Alright guys, so when it comes to the Joker's 4-2-1-2 string, he's -11 on block, so you can chase him down. It is very possible. Now, it depends on what you throw out at him, because he might be able to backdash and hit you with his 4-2. Keep in mind, this 4-2 is really good for a whiff punish. Keep in mind, his 4-2 has fantastic range, and if I space it out just like this, he's +3 on block. And some people sleep on his 4-2 because it's a high, but they don't understand that he has a lot of shit that actually complements his 4-2 that's going to force you to actually stand up more than likely, right? Not only that, like I said, it's a good whiff punisher. You know, if you're trying to space him out, he can actually use his 4-2 to, you know, chase you down pretty much if you're trying to space him out and trying to get a whiff punish on him and shit like that. It's just a major problem. Then his startup time is really good because it's 13 frames. So if you do like 13, you know, minus +3 and shit, that's like 10 frames and shit like that. So that's a 10 frame 4-2. And what complements his 4-2 is his mid. Now, the way he can get this out is by hitting you with a plus frame situation. And obviously you're probably going to stand up because you don't want to get hit by his crushing blow, which is this, right? And then on top of that, you're probably going to stand up anyway because you know it's a mid, right? You don't know if he's going to stagger. You don't know if he's going to hit you with the crushing blow. Then on top of that, you know, like, you're probably going to stand up, and then that's when the 4-2 comes out. But then on top of that, he has a down 4 that has good hit advantage on it, so he can definitely chase you down very easily. Now, I'm not saying he can jail you with this, but you're going to end up respecting eventually, right? And you're going to end up ducking and shit like that, which ultimately allows this character to, you know, possibly whiff this on purpose and hit you with the overhead part of this. And keep in mind, there is overhead, so if you neutral crouch, you better be on point of whiff punishing him, because he can hit you with this. And even if he whiffs and you try to neutral crouch, it has an overhead. Not only that, he can make himself safe on this move, as you can clearly see here. Even if he does this, he can make himself safe. Not only that, he's -4 if I space it out like that, but right here I am -5, right? So I can do this, space you out really well. It just causes a lot of problems. Not only that, there is a flawless block gap in this, but the problem with you trying to flawless block him is that he can hit you with the second hit of that, get his birdie beat down and charge that up, and it causes all these issues. Not only that, he can actually go directly into his little jack-in-the-box, right? So it's just a lot of shit that he can do off of this. He can continuously abuse you with plus frames, frame trap, Oh, you're blocking still? Okay, I'm gonna open you up with a throw and get you thinking about something, right? Then on top of that, his crushing blow is highly effective because, like I said, it is a really good whiff punisher. So he can get either a setup on you or a full-fledged combo. So a clear example of that is this right here. Then he gets almost 40% easily, as you can clearly see here. Like I said, he can go directly into a setup. And he can get bigger damage in the corner, which I'll show you guys that very shortly here. So there is that. And then, like I said, when he's in the corner, he gets more damage. He can use a bar meter just like this. And if he has access to a fatal blow, then he can fuck your shit up. So it's just like, it's like, you know, he just has a lot of good options. And I definitely think this is like the best Joker that they've ever made, at least in my opinion. Because in, you know, Injustice 1 and 2, he didn't have really good range normals like that. And I think that's what made him low tier in that game. But he had other good shit like setups, and he had some zoning tools and shit like that. He had other good strings to a certain degree. But I felt like what made him low tier in Injustice 1 and 2 was the lack of, you know, normals that he had that had barely any good range. And then on top of that, his down 2 that would pop you up into the air for a combo. What was fucked up about that was that he was really minus on block. So it was just like you had to be very careful. And then when he was going against characters like Catwoman and shit like that, like, man, he could get fucked up, you know what I mean? Especially if he's throwing out random normals and shit. It's just like he had a hard time fighting characters like that had good range on their normals and shit like that, because he couldn't really challenge them all the way. So in this game, he's totally different, right? So like I said, his down 4 complements that forward 2 if you're trying to neutral crouch. And obviously you're going to get annoyed, and then you're probably going to block this, and that allows him to space you out, and you still have to deal with that mind game. And then when you think he's going to do that, he can throw out plus frames. You stand up, that's an instant frame trap. So kind of get the idea with the Joker's 4-2-1-2 string and his 4-1-4 2 string. And now we're going to move on to Sonya Blade. Alright guys, so when it comes to Sonya Blade, she has a really good, you know, meterless combo that gives her really good damage. And if you go for her back forward 2, it switches sides with you. But if you go for her back forward 2 and you amplify it, she gets even more damage on you. But not only that, she can start up her zoning game and do this shit all day, right? But if she hits you with her back forward 4, she keeps you on the same side. But she doesn't get crazy amounts of damage, but she gets a decent amount of hit advantage to where she can start up an Oki situation. If you take it upon yourself to wake up with some type of up 3 or something like that, this is what's going to happen to you. And if she has access to her crushing blow, then that's easy work for this character. She can use a bar meter, and she's super close to you. And if she doesn't use a bar meter, then guess what? This is how much damage she gets. And if she does use a bar meter without the crushing blow, then guess what? This is how much damage the bitch gets. And she's still super close to you. So you kind of get the idea with that particular situation. And then when it comes to her low, right, she can't go for her back forward 2. Right, so keep that in mind. So what she's going to have to do here is that she's going to have to actually do this to you in the corner. And if she hits you, well, she gets a decent amount of damage, and then she gets guaranteed Oki. And she has a high hit advantage of 19 frames. Now, if she hits you with the low situation, right, she can use a bar meter and get that amount of damage, which is nothing crazy at all, but she switched sides with you. So you have to keep in mind where you are on the stage in order for you to do something like this. Do you want the opponent to stay close to you, just like this? Or do you want the opponent to switch sides with you? And keep in mind, if I was to hit Joker with this, not only did I get 35%, right, but this guarantees me zoning, right? But not only does it guarantee me zoning, right, it allows me to recharge my meter up very fucking easily, right? Because her zoning is very annoying and it's super quick on recovery, right? So as you can see here, look at that, almost 36% damage. I can back up, keep zoning you, and then on top of that, she has really good corner carry. And like I said, if I want to keep you on the same side, I can take it upon myself to do that. And guess what? It guarantees me an Oki situation. So if you decide to roll, I can grab you. If you decide to block, I can create a high mid mind game with my back 1 and my forward 4. Speaking of a high mid mind game, she has a back 1 that's -4 on block to where she could possibly go for an Abari. It is possible for this character to stagger this, but going for a throw, that's not really a good idea. So keep that in mind, right? Because she's not really in the correct range to do that. As you can clearly see here, she possibly would get uppercutted or, you know, crushing blowed if she whiffs that. So you might want to be careful with that, right? Now it might apply to bigger characters because Joker is somewhat of a smaller character. So if the character is a little bit bigger and they're blocking and crouch blocking or something like that, she might be able to grab them. Now, like I said, she has a high mid mind game. So if you're really minus on block, like -10 and up, she can actually get a full combo punish on you that is meterless, and she gets crazy amounts of damage on you plus the knockdown. And keep in mind, her startup time is 9 frames, so that's a big deal. Now, the high mid mind game is her forward 4, right? Reason why is because she's really safe on block. But not only that, she can actually take it upon herself to, you know, be -1 on block if she spaces out correctly, and she can go for an Abari and challenge you with her down 3 very easily, which will become 8 frames. If you do 7 plus -1, that's 8 frames. So you kind of get the idea with this particular situation right here. And then on top of that, she has really good stuff here. Hit advantage is 14 frames. So check this shit out. He's ducking. What does this mean exactly? 14 frames, that's a guaranteed jailing situation. So that causes a serious issue in itself. So what happens if you decide to block? Because you have no choice but to block, and if you don't block, guess what? You get put into a full combo punish. But not only that, if you decide to block, guess what? I can create a 50-50 situation with my throwing situation, and guess what? I can backdash, start zoning you off of my forward throw. Not only that, I can take it upon myself to dash up like this and pressure you, or if you try to wake up with an attack, I can parry you. And if you decide to jump and I make a correct read, guess what? I can do that to you. So it causes a lot of issues, as you guys can clearly see here. And she has 2 really good crushing blows on her anti-airs special moves. She could jump up and do this and get a crushing blow on you, or she could do this and get a crushing blow on you, and that leads into a pop-up and she gets really big damage on you. Not only that, you know, if she doesn't want to use a bar meter, she doesn't have to do it. Reason why she doesn't have to do it is because she could take it upon herself just to do this. Easy, almost, you know, 17%. And guess what? Zoning, if you jump, you're going to get hit with an anti-air, and this causes problems. Now, if she wanted to, she could actually take it upon herself to use a bar meter to get extra damage. That's almost 20%, and she could start a zoning game, and you get the idea with that. Or she could take it upon herself to do this, right, and get decent damage. Keep in mind, you will switch sides if you use a bar meter, but she doesn't really get much off of this at all. So just kind of keep that stuff in mind, right? So more than likely, most people will probably go for a back forward too, but you have to also keep in mind of where you are on the stage, right? What else is there? Now, this is when stuff gets mad interesting with this character. Reason why is because I just showed you guys her high mid type of mind game, and I showed you guys everything that she could possibly do to you, except for the reset, right? Now, this isn't a full-fledged reset because she is 0 on hit advantage, but if you took it upon yourself to down 1 this character, she could take it upon herself to go for her parry, right? Just like this. So you get hit by this, right? And she knows you're going to press a button, right? You mash it down 1, right? So let me see if I can time that correctly. Hopefully that was quick enough. Look at that. She hits you with a parry. And if she has access to a crushing blow, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So you need to be very careful when it comes to a situation like that. And if you're not, then you're just going to get fucked up. It's just that simple. And keep in mind, her parries complement each other for a reason, because she has a low one and a high one that counters highs, mids, overheads possibly. And keep in mind, she can go through a good portion of flawless block gap strings in the game without even flawless blocking you. So just keep that in mind. Now it says triggers if 2 standing counters have hit. So this complements this, and this complements this, because it says triggers if 2 low counters have hit. So this obviously can cause a serious problem. Now, I showed you guys the high mid type of mind game that this character has access to. But not only that, you have to deal with a 50-50 situation. Now keep in mind, she's -7 on block. But guess what? I can do this and make myself safe on block just like this. And then I can zone you, and if you jump because you think I'm gonna throw a projectile, anti-air, right? But what's funny about this is that you can actually take it upon yourself to, you know, neutral crouch, right? And then get a full combo punish on this character, or possibly a crushing blow. So you make a correct read, but you know she's trying to make herself even more safe on block, even though she's -7, right? And she takes it upon herself to do that. As you can clearly see, I can punish her and, you know, get a combo on her very easily. And if you're going for a standing 1, you need to keep in mind that she has some range on this. So if you fuck up, she can get a crushing blow on you with the last hit. So let me see if I can actually do that real quick. I'm gonna just hold the button like that. Okay, cool. See that? And then you end up getting punished, right? Not only that, you're gonna have to go with a range normal, so that way you can actually hit this chick. But you have to be quick on your reaction, and if you're not, then you're gonna get crushing blow. Now, this is what's funny about this, right? Instead of me going for this, right, that gives me 8% damage, I'm -19 on block. Let me show you guys. So I block this, but then I don't block this. 8% damage, which gives her a decent amount of hit advantage. Why do that when I can go for something that's more safer and guarantees me something, right? Keep in mind, the character is -11 on block. That is a big deal. She is safe on a back forward too. Keep in mind, the character has no flawless by gap whatsoever in this at all. So you could tell that this is kind of dumb as shit. And she's -11. So if you don't react quick enough, and you go for a really unsafe special move that has access to a crushing blow. Like a clear example of this is like Cabal. He has like that hook spinning move that he can do that's like minus what, 14 or something on block. So she can get a full combo punish on this character if he makes the incorrect read, thinking that, oh yeah, this is a special move so I can punish her, right? Now for the Joker, he can obviously punish her, but he can't go for his forward 2, right? So he's gonna have to do something like that and punish her. But keep in mind, he can't even do this because she's minus 11 on block. So he's gonna have to pop her up into the air for a combo, and he's gonna have to be very quick about it, like this. And keep in mind, there's no flawless block gap in it. So I highly recommend you don't try to flawless block. Now, keep in mind, we got that shit out of the way, right? So she's really safe on that to a certain degree, even though she's minus 11. And a decent amount of characters in the game can punish her with a 7 frame normal, 8 frame normal, as long as they know how minus she is on block, right? But for certain characters, some people will go for certain special moves or certain combo strings that are really slow in startup, and she can block afterwards and make herself really safe. Now, instead of going for her back forward 4, I'm going to go for this because it guarantees me way more damage. Not only that, I can technically dash up and pressure you. Now, I get that some people look at her hit advantage like it's only 5 frames, but she has enough time to dash up and pressure you afterwards. And if you wake up with her up 3, she's going to hit you with a parry. If you jump, that's an anti-air. If you respect, then she can mix your shit up with a high mid mind game that leads into a 50-50. So you kind of get the idea with that particular situation. But if I hit you, guess what? I can use a bar meter, guaranteed 15%. And if I want my meter to recharge up, guess what? I can do that because I have annoying zoning that recovers really quickly, and I can keep doing this shit all day and getting you frustrated until you jump in. And guess what? Another anti-air situation, right? So you kind of get the idea with this. This can cause a serious problem in itself. And like I said, she has a 50-50 situation here that complements each other. So the low complements the overhead, and the overhead complements the low. But what's funny about this is that not only do you have to deal with a high mid mind game in the 50-50 situation, but when it comes to the overhead, she has what I like to call a high mid mind game yet again. Some people may feel a little perplexed trying to figure out how does she have a high mid mind game again. Keep in mind, if she hits you with just the overhead, she still gets really solid damage. See that? 29%. If I hit you with just the last hit of this, I still get really solid damage. 27%, right? If I was to go for my back forward 2, guess what, dude? I still get solid damage. So, check this out, right? I'm going to switch back over to the Joker, and we're going to see what's happening here. Keep in mind, she has a flawless block gap in this. Now, like I said, keep in mind, she's minus 9 on block right here. So if you make the correct read, and you know she's trying to make herself safe off of that because she made the incorrect read and she knows that you're going to block the overhead, she's going to try and make herself safe. So if she tries to make herself safe, as you can clearly see here, she's minus 4, right? So she might be able to challenge you, right? Which is not a good thing. So you duck like this, and then you do this. See that? So I might be able to get my 4-2 out. Nope. Comes out too quick. Oh, wait a minute. I can. Check this out. I can get a full combo punish on her. I can do this. I can do that. Call it a day. Fuck her shit up. And just call it, you know, just do whatever the fuck I want to do. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. This is when shit gets real spicy. I already showed you guys how much damage she can get off of you if you take it upon yourself to, you know, try to punish her, right? Because you know she's minus 9. Now keep in mind her last hit is minus 14, so obviously most opponents are going to stand up if she tries to commit into the last hit. This is where shit gets real spicy. Remember when I told you she has a high mid mind game? If I try to neutral crouch right here, look what happens. I get popped up into the air for a combo. So this causes a serious dilemma in itself, and you can see that this string is completely brain dead. Completely brain dead. Takes no skill. See that? And if you know what you're doing, just like I do, okay, with these strings, and you understand strings, and you understand a whole bunch of shit about this game or just fighting games in general, you could tell that this string is dumb as hell, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell that this string is dumb as hell. And I'm showing you guys how dumb as fuck this string actually is, right? So, either one, you allow me to be safe, or two, you get popped up into the air for a combo, right? But then again, you could just block the whole thing, but that's not benefiting you at all because guess what? She gets a good amount of pushback on her projectiles. So if you block this, guess what? I'm safe. I'm not worried about shit. So you're obviously going to get pissed off because you don't like the idea that I just did that. And if you try to jump here, anti-air. If I back up, I might be able to zone you. So it's just like, man, this character has a lot of shit, my nigga. A lot of shit. So, I think this is everything that I want to talk about with Sonya Blade. I just wanted to talk about this because this bitch is dumb as hell. I love Sonya Blade. She's a classic character. And, you know, as you can clearly see here, I just exposed everything about this fucking strength. Now, like I said, it is possible for her to possibly stagger this, but you might want to be careful staggering it all the fucking time. Overall, both of these characters are dumb as hell. They're really strong in this game. Brain dead 50-50s. Brain dead shit that they have access to. Very easy to learn. Just unbelievable, to be honest with you. So you have a really difficult decision to make here. I still believe Sonya Blade is technically somewhat S tier, and I did say somewhat S tier because she's still a really dangerous character, man. And it's really surprising that I don't see a lot of Sonya Blade players, because when she got nerfed, nobody was really fucking with her, because when the game was fresh, all you saw was Sonya Blade players, bro. I'm kid you not, that's all you saw. The shit was so annoying. Like, it was just like, you're only picking her because she's dumb as hell in this game, and she's still dumb as hell in this game. So, like I said, man, if you don't know what you're doing against Sonya Blade, you will get your shit folded. Okay, simple, plain as that. And you know, I noticed something in this game as well. If you're not going against a brain dead 50-50 character, you're always going against a zoner. That's what I noticed. So overall, guys, I think this is everything that I want to talk about with Sonya Blade and the Joker, or Joker and Sonya Blade. I don't really have much to add here. Not unless I forgot something, but if I did, I'll probably make an update video talking about it when I get enough time to, and I'm not busy and shit like that with stuff going on in my personal life with college and work and shit like that. But yeah, this is pretty much everything that I want to talk about. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Also share the video. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, man. This is the reason why I have these two characters up here. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Heads would say that I'm a bad boy, to kill without a reason. But body stuck high never gets old. Always in season.
Fatality. The Joker wins. Flawless victory.